founder of Freckles, and this week I want to talk all about managing relationships. Now, you're not here for some relationship therapy, don't worry, but what I wanted to do was talk to you about how you manage that relationship between yourself and the parents and the family that you work with. And to be honest, it's the biggest thing that can make an impact between you loving your job and staying forever versus you struggling and leaving and ultimately the relationship breaking down. So it's really, really important. And the illustration I want to use to describe it is the communication that you have with your family should be similar to the communication that you have with your other half. You're just talking about different things. So we've all been there in that situation where your other half repeatedly leaves their wet towel on the floor, and you pick it up and you hang it up. You pick it up and you hang it up. You pick it up and you hang it up. And yeah, it annoys you and it's building and you're getting a bit more cross and pissed off about it. And then until one day you just snap, you lose it. You fly off the handle and you're like, I can't believe you're not picking it up. This is ridiculous. You're a grown adult, you can do it yourself. And they just turn around and go, but you never told me. And that's exactly the same thing in a relationship where they're your employer. I mean, you're not going to be discussing picking the towels up, but you need to be having those conversations because you need to feel like you're progressing, and you need to have raised stuff because they can't change things if they don't know that it annoys you. And I know that can be a really scary prospect of sitting down and saying to somebody that you're not happy about something, or can you improve it? And the way that we recommend doing that is to have like reviews or to figure out a system that works for your family. That we did, we talked about how they are currently communicating. Is it WhatsApp? Is it text? Is it email? Is it notes? That kind of thing. And in one of the last training sessions we did, one of the girls mentioned something that she calls the yellow book. And I thought it was a really great idea. So on a day-to-day basis, they're communicating via WhatsApp. She can send photos. She's a group with both the parents, and that's how they all keep in touch. They also they use email more for scheduling like big dates and any changes and stuff like that. And but what they use at home is what they call a yellow book, and it is actually yellow. It doesn't have to be yellow, but it's like an exercise book. And basically, if there's anything really important that the nanny feels that she needs to put in there at the end of the day, and then she just notes it down, and she knows that they have a safe place that they leave it. That mum or dad will look at it that night, and then they write their reply. And it's a really straightforward and really simple system. And it's quite effective because sometimes if you've got older children and they're not yet in bed, you can't, mum or dad will come home and the children might kind of implode upon them, so you can't really have a feedback about how Henry, wet himself at school today and you put it in the wash, but you just thought she should know, because it's difficult to convey that in the middle of a welcome home greeting. And I thought that was a really good system. But figure out how your family communicates. In the past, for me, I found that one of my families communicated either verbally, they'd just like say things in passing, or messages, and that was always quite a good way that I could say something if I was concerned. And another family, all kind of in note form, and she would leave me literally pages and pages of essay notes when I went in the morning, and I realised after trying to give her the information when she got home from the end of the day, it wasn't going in, that I should actually just leave a note for her as well. And I knew she wouldn't address it there and then at that time, but she would deal with it the following morning before I next went in. So that worked really, really well. So you've got to have those communications, and you've got to keep communicating, keep bringing things up, keep discussing things, keep talking to them about their children and how they're developing, or what's going on at home, or if there is something that's niggling on you, tell them, because you can't fix it unless you talk to them. And obviously if we leave it, then ultimately things build and build and build and build until something breaks your back and you can't do it anymore. If you need some advice, give me a call, and I'll can talk you through a couple of ways you can do it. But the key takeaway from today is communicate, communicate, communicate. It is the key to a successful relationship, be it your personal life or in the workplace. So I hope you found that helpful. I will be back next week on another video with anything and everything to do with nanny, childcare and children.